Okay, everybody, we are back and live on Plexi Stars with James Phillips, and I am so sorry. I apologize for technical difficulties. This is not normally my expertise at all, and at the last minute things went a little bit nuts, and I had no idea how to fix it. So hopefully we can get everybody to come back on with us and give you a minute. Ginger's coming back on. We did read a disclaimer, but we're going to read it again, Dustin, because we're going to delete that prior video and then get moving on this one. You got it in front of you this time?
Go ahead and talk for a second. I'm helping Ginger really quick.
Okay, she's working on coming on. I want to just say how excited I've been and how fortunate I feel to be able to speak with you, James. I mentioned a little bit ago about how my work in the well, I can't call it an industry, but just my work in the past dealing with fallen warriors and our veterans across this country, our Gold Star families. There are so many people who have lost hope, and hopefully tonight with your story and the things that I've learned about you, you can be able to provide them a new hope, something to grab a hold of, and that they can hopefully give it a try and see what we can do to help them. Did you find it?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
The opportunity of a lifetime is brought to you by Independent Plexus Ambassadors and is now sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. At Plexus Worldwide, we want you to know that the results you are about to hear from may vary from person to person, and we do not claim to cure, treat, and prevent any disease.
Excellent. Disclaimer done.
Yeah.
Yay, okay. You know what, James? Guess what? You have the floor, my friend. It is all yours. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Just to tell my story a little bit, I was in the Marine Corps. I was in college. I did not want to be in the military. Was training horses, had my own business, and was happy. And then the Twin Towers were hit. So I left class and went and joined the Marine Corps. Ended up going pretty much straight into Fallujah. Not long after that, we saw heavy combat, heavy fighting, and yet my brand of PTSD did not come from the combat itself. I didn't do anything that I regretted. The death and the violence didn't affect me because that's what I went for. The thing that did affect me was being on the highest level of alert for months on end. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you great.
I'm getting a lot of feedback, but I just press on. So I came back, I got back in college, and it was just like you got to flip that normal switch again. Only every sound in a classroom is not the same as a sound on a battlefield. So it's just like you just compacted all your springs. It's like winding up an 8-day clock and then winding it again and then winding it again, and you stay that tight forever and you're not allowed to unwind. It just, it was terrible. But the last 3 months we were there, there was no heavy fighting. So you had all the stress, you had all the anticipation of explosions, you had the occasional snipers, but you didn't have an all-out gunfight to blow through that stress. So there was a lot of stress that you carried home because you didn't have combat toward the end to, God gives us adrenaline to help us through a battle or through a situation, and yet when you have the adrenaline dump and no battle to burn it off, then you just carry it home. So that turned into, for 9 years, I didn't sleep, not well. It really started to get pretty bad in 2010, 11, 12. 13 was pretty bad. And then I was challenged to try this Plexus stuff. And I read that it was herbs. That's what God says. he gives us in Ezekiel, he says he gives us the fruit of the tree for food, and the leaves or the herbs that says he gives for medicine. And so I saw that there could be healing properties there. FDA won't let us talk about it, so.
Yeah, but we can now because we read the compliance thing.
Sure. So I just wanted to give it a try, you know. I wanted to see what God's herbs would do for me.
Right.
And the detoxing and the cleansing is what allowed me to sleep for the first time in 9 years. And for me, the healing came from deep REM sleep.
Right.
After night after night. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you great.
So just to be able to sleep in the deepest levels of sleep and wake up refreshed was something I hadn't known in over 10 years. And
wow.
it changed my life. You know, chronic fatigue went away. ADD was reduced by probably 98%. ADHD is gone. PTSD, I had a psychiatrist tell me that he could get me 95% disability. If I just gave him the nod, he would do the paperwork. He said, your mind, he said, on your mind alone. And, you know, I was running for office. I didn't want anything in writing.
VA that said that to you?
I beg your pardon?
Was that someone at the VA that said that to you?
Yes, yes. He was a military psychiatrist. He actually met me outside of his, outside of the VA. And he just said, you have severe PTSD, your textbook case. He said you're highly functional. I thought it was crazy, you know, because I owned 3 businesses. I had rental properties. I worked 16, 18 hours a day, wide open. Knowing now what I didn't know then, I wasn't accomplishing as much because I had the brain fog. I wasn't real sure what that was until it was gone. And then I realized that my last 10 years had been a foggy, distracted, sleep-deprived mess. You know?
Right.
So gone are the days of parking the patrol car on the side of the road and sleeping for 10 minutes. You know? Just being rested changed my life. And I think the healing for me came from the sleep. That didn't come until I added the BioCleanse to my daily regimen.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of my general story. I understand this is an interview.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, how many years did you serve then? How many?
In the Marine Corps, 6 years.
For 6 years, and you were in combat on tour?
In 04 and 05, yes.
Okay. And so you were like I've heard this so many times before in the past too, where when someone's in such a state of constant being on, and not just being on, like, you know, there's a lot of people who have jobs like being a doctor or nurse where they got to be on, but not the kind of on backed by fear, or the kind of on backed by a performance that's required when you guys go out into the battlefield. And that I think, go ahead. Yeah.
It's kind of on being backed by, you know, this is coded so that I can take it in the shower. I mean, it goes everywhere. And it's not fear. It's just a level of preparation that you can't give up.
Yeah.
But when that level of preparation keeps you from sleeping, then you can have health problems.
Well, and you mentioned, you know, that it wasn't necessarily combat related, but I know that there are so many veterans who suffer with the PTSD and the anxiety and those types of things that are a direct, cause of that. But it's the same thing. Your body is in a state of vibration when you're on edge like that, when you're waiting, that your body doesn't function, so it gets all out of balance, and your energies are not, working properly. And what I believe, what I've seen with many of my veteran friends who are on the product, who are on this call watching, is that when you detox and you calm down and you sleep, like you said, then that's when your body allows itself to.
That's right. Just being exhausted. you know, I could lay down exhausted. My mind would just be racing. It would be spinning so fast through the events of the day. In law enforcement, you know, I might get in a foot chase and it lasts a while, and then we're out all night looking for them. Finally, get them home to jail. At that point, paperwork at 6, 7 a.m. You come home, you lay down, and sleep doesn't come. You have another shift coming up that afternoon.
What product do you think it was, or what did you start with? What was your regiment? What did you first start with?
I started with the Probio 5 because I was in law enforcement and I caught every virus that the public had. And
Wow.
I started taking that and I quit getting sick. So I've been sick. I used to stay sick from around Thanksgiving to around March.
Wow.
Almost 5 months I could cough phlegm up just on command. Wheezing, coughing, feeling run down, face would feel hot. I'd run fevers, you know, every 10 days or a few weeks it would get worse or a sore throat. But I think since I started the Probio 5, see, I've only been an ambassador for a short time, for about a year and a half. But I started taking the Probio 5 maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
I've only been sick, I think, once since then.
Oh, wow.
For like 3 days instead of.
You get the Probio 5? That's it?
Well, that's what I started out with.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago, I added the Slim, and I really liked it. I really liked the way I started sleeping deeper. And at the time, I was working out about 6 times a week and eating really, really, really clean. And I wasn't seeing the physical results I wanted. You know, I wasn't getting cut. I wasn't getting abs. And I added the Slim, and I got pretty cut. I got like 8 abs within 6 weeks. And I was like, this stuff is awesome. And but had absolutely no notion or concept of what it would do for my health. So I was just taking it for just I own fitness clubs. I need to have abs, so that's why I took it. I went to Dallas for fun. You know, they say leaders are born at events. Yeah, something snapped inside me when I saw it was really helping people do with other issues. So I added the Melissa Collins. It was like, James, just add the BioCleanse to what you're doing. I was like, okay. So I did. And that's when the deeper sleep started coming.
Because then you have the BioCleanse, which is what pushes the yeast and candida out of your system from the probiotics.
Yeah.
So you actually,
I had 17 symptoms of candida.
Oh, wait, you had 17 symptoms even still?
No, I have 0 now.
Okay, okay, got it.
But I had 17 symptoms of candida. You know, I worked out every day. I as a personal trainer, led classes, usually 2 to 3 classes a day, and I'd work out with the classes. I mean, I was working out a lot, and you couldn't have told me I could be any healthier. My only thing that I thought I had, the only chink in my armor was I didn't seem to be getting results from my workouts. I got stronger, more endurance, but no visual results. And then I could not, I just didn't get enough sleep. Well, come to find out, I get the same amount of sleep today that I got then, but it's just the rest value is 10 times what it was.
Because when you lay down, your head hits the pillow and you are like gone until you really wake up.
And that I used to do the same thing, and I thought that since I went to sleep so quick, that was it, but it wasn't. I wasn't waking up rested. I was waking up tired. I'd wake up several times through the night, and when you do that, you're, you know, I can't. You probably go to Google and find out a lot more about sleep patterns than I can tell you. But I know personally speaking that when you drop down into REM sleep and stay there, so many good things start happening in your body and life. My wife, who was always nagging at me, turns out she's not a nag at all. I was just tired. I just couldn't handle words from other people, you know.
Life.
Right, right.
Life. Oh my gosh. So what do you, Dust in the Wind? Are you alive over there? Did you see that? I said his name and his head kind of went up like, oh, I'm here.
I'm on YouTube chatting with the viewers.
Okay, awesome. I'm
Yeah.
glad we got him back. We got some of them back. We had like quite a few of them come back too, so that's good. We didn't lose everybody. But
I'm here.
go ahead. I want you to, talk or say something over there.
I'm scared to talk, man.
I can't hear him.
Uh-oh. You're starting to speak like the robot thing again, I guess. Try again.
Just go ahead.
Did you have any questions you want to ask?
No, not right now.
Not right now. Okay. Well, I will continue because I want to know what products you're taking right now.
I take the Triplex and the X Factor.
The next factor.
I'd like to talk about PTSD just a minute, if you don't mind.
No, absolutely. That's definitely something yeah, please.
My whole passion is, I know what it's like. I feel like I've been to the edge and back. Personally, I never considered suicide. But I remember crying myself to sleep, wondering how life could go on like this, because I was worn out. I was exhausted to the nth degree, and my wife and children were having to raise themselves. They didn't get me. You know, it took up all the hours of the day to make a living, and I'd come home and the kids would pile on me in my recliner. I'd be asleep before I could get to the second or third page of whatever book they brought me. I remember I'd wake up. This happened, I swear it happened for a week straight. And I'd wake up and it'd be 11 o'clock. My wife would still be cleaning the house, and the kids would all be in bed. It would just break my heart because I wasn't conscious for maybe 2 or 3 minutes when I got home. And they were just so excited to see me, and I'd wake up 4 hours later and they were in bed. I'd have to leave before they got up. It just broke my heart. But my wife just saying, we can't do this. I can't do this. And I did not know what to do. And I see a lot of facts at that same point. I see a lot of military guys at that same point. You know, you're doing something worthy. The job you're doing is integral to the community, to our freedom, to our country, and you're ensuring the freedom of your family by doing this job. But the job, the powers that be, suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
And then you're left with nothing, and they just want to die. And you just want to be able to. You can't wrap your mind around the thought of. I thought that was life. I thought that was welcome to the big boy world. You know? Some people are born into ease and luxury, and some people are born to slave their life away and barely make it. And I thought I was in that second group. And when I started sleeping and waking up rested, everything I was doing became more profitable. You know, more people joined the gym because I was more fun to be around. I was more positive when I was rested. And I just see guys, I see that fatigue in their eyes. I pulled up to ask for top directions the other night. It was late. I was traveling, and there was a detour. He had a car back there, and I pulled up. That sucker was out cold. He was asleep.
Wow.
I stood there to see if he was sleeping, like just nodded off, and he was sleeping like a rock. He was snoring. I just turned around, went and got in my car. There was no way I was about to wake him up and ask directions when he was that exhausted. The man was asleep, you know.
Right.
So it was a game changer for me. I just started telling my results on Facebook, by the way, and telling friends of mine, and the people started trying it, you know. and getting the same results, and it just grew rather quickly. My whole deal is don't sell it. You know, I work too hard for this whatever reputation I have as a lawman, as a Marine, as a father. I didn't want to stoop to selling any kind of product or any kind of company. And I've found with Plexus, I've just been able to say, hey, I see in your eyes the look I had a few months ago. If I sent you a link that explains a little more about some things that helped me, would you watch it? They always say yes. About half of them give it a shot, you know.
Right. Well, there's so many things I want to say about what you just said. The first thing that stood out to me so strongly that I think many people on this call and people who watch this in the future can relate to is the fact that when you are functioning or not functioning like that, you are at the point of losing your family. We have countless families across our country who have lost their marriages and their relationships with their children, and so many devastating things that I have witnessed personally because of post-traumatic stress, anxiety, the depression, the pain that they're in, all those things. And I've seen one of my customers who has been able to go from being on narcotics at the highest amount that the VA would give him to using the ease and being completely out of pain, to being able to release his body of Agent Orange. I mean, this is, I am so passionate about this part of the products that people don't talk about, just like you're talking about PTSD and what it does, because it will give them their lives back. We have these Vietnam veterans and veterans and those who worked at the 9/11 Ground Zero who are toxic, and they have no idea how to get rid of it.
Yeah, our cells absorb these toxins to protect our body, and then we carry them around like mud in our gas tank, and it just drags us down forever, you know, until we flush them. And that's something, you know, you're a pretty lady. Veterans aren't going to listen to you about their problems or anything. You can't help them. You weren't there. You don't know what it's like. You'll notice if you start talking about it that anger lies not far below the surface. You know, it's like somewhere between I respectfully would rather not discuss it with you to get out of here, talk to the hand, you know.
Right.
And you may have run into some of that, you know, and then you have like, oh, thank you for what you did for our country, and it's like, please just go away, you know.
You turn off because you don't know.
PTSD was when I was in the throes of it. I didn't know, you know. I wasn't. You have to get to a point. You can't force somebody to that point where they understand they have a problem. They can only get there by themselves, and a lot of times they've had a problem long before they ever realize it. Usually, it takes multiple relationships that they've hurt or damaged, and then, you know, to even begin to realize they have a problem. They almost have to see a pattern of pain in other people's lives that they've caused to see they have a problem. And I had someone tell me, several employees actually, like, I cannot handle you on days like this. You have ADD or ADHD. You need help. I Googled it. I didn't know what that was, and I had all the symptoms. So I Googled anxiety, and I had all those symptoms. You know, so just my thing is we all know someone. We have a heart for those people in their pain, and pretty much something I pray every day is that God would draw people that need His herbs to someone that has His herbs.
Right.
And that if for some reason their body would not respond to Plexus, I just pray, God, whoever that is, who would not you know, this person I'm talking to, this person I'm about to send a link to, if this wouldn't help them, I ask that you would give them zero interest, none whatsoever. Just take it away.
Right.
And he does that. And so when someone says, yeah, I looked at it, I'm not interested at all, I'm like, awesome.
Okay.
I just prayed for that.
Yeah.
I literally just prayed for that. So it takes all the sales out of it. And at the end of the day, their soul is what matters. I've had a lot of veterans come to me, their mind's a mess, and they want to talk about Plexus, and I'm like, let's talk about Christ first. You know, He died for me. We'll just favor the health side, because at this point, no matter how healthy you get, you're still going to hell.
Right.
And we need to be sharing the love of Christ first.
I totally agree.
Because you know, a veteran or cop with PTSD that knows the Lord has more peace still than someone who can work through it all through counseling and through purging and cleansing, and then still have that emptiness in the heart. You know?
The peace comes first from there, and then everything else on the physical takes.
Absolutely. But with that being said, so many men from my unit have begun to try it finally after they see. I'm still talking about how great it is after a year and a half, and they're consistently getting the same results. You know, it's really catching on. It's
something.
90% of my downline are former extremely skeptical cops or veterans who wanted to make sure they had a money-back guarantee before they tried this mess. and then they became ambassadors and shared it with others. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the one thing that you would say if you were sitting in a room right now with 100 veterans who are or families who are looking for an answer? What would you say to them?
Jesus said, knock, and the door shall be opened. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened. If we seek the truth, we have the promise of finding it. And in Psalm it says, He giveth His beloved sleep. I believe it's God's will for us to sleep deeply and wake up rested. And we do so many things in our culture that contribute to not sleeping, which contribute to, this post-traumatic stress is a jumbled thoughts who have not yet resorted themselves out. And as long as you're not getting rest, they will not sort themselves out. You're carrying this baggage years into the future. We never get a man rested, and it's going to take detoxing to do that. Truly rested, those thoughts can unjumble, reorganize, and find either a measure of peace. For me, it was complete peace.
Right.
And mine was combat related, by the way. Mine came from, I didn't do something that scarred me.
Right.
I just, when the shooting started, the shooting back started, the combat was able to blow the stress out, and after a gunfight, we slept like babies, every one of us. That last 3 months, though, there was no real combat.
No relief.
We were still on high for most, but there was no outlet for that tension, so we carried it all home.
Along with just everything else that you carry.
And one other thing, I would encourage, there's other guys out there. Guys, if you're being helped by these herbs, I'd encourage you not to sell it, because other skeptical veterans, cops, ambulance drivers, first responders, those guys they're not gonna respond to sales technique, and I don't want them to. I mean, I wasn't that guy. I was, no offense to anybody, I never liked salesmen as a general rule, and I think it's our responsibility if we get these results to learn how to use an iPhone and post some videos to YouTube and Facebook so that guys like me can search PTSD and plexus and not just get my face, but get 100 faces that are telling their story.
Absolutely.
It's called cross-validation. And there's guys, you know, Tanya, you know guys that need the peace that I have, and yet they're not going to listen to you. So other guys listening, post your videos so this lady here and all the other women in the business can use our stories to help our brothers who might have a pistol in their mouth right now. I mean, it's
a fact.
It's 10:30.
I know.
5 and 6 veterans have a pistol in their mouth right now.
I know. I know.
Real issue.
Real issue.
Thank you for what you do for the cause.
Nothing that I've ever done could even compare to the lives that I've seen and what I've witnessed. The sacrifice is so huge. It's huge.
An old Marine once told me, George Collins told me, never be loyal to an organization. Always be loyal to a cause. You have a worthy cause. 22 deaths a day is too many. Be loyal to that cause. Help those guys. Love those guys. Pray for those guys. I like Plexus because it's a vehicle, but I'm loyal to the cause. This is just a brand.
To help you for the cause. Yes. Yes.
But don't get mixed up being loyal to an organization. Be loyal to the cause.
We need to have you, James, make several little 1-minute clips of a video instead of something lengthy like this. Start off making several little 1-minute clips, because that's all the attention anybody has, hardly even that, right? About little points of PTSD and plexus, anxiety, the depression, the rest, little things like that. If you will do that, I will share them. I will make sure that we get other people who are veterans who are experiencing great things, like Jim Cole and some of these guys who had incredible relief, to start making some of those clips so that we can do what you just envisioned and put out there. I think that would be awesome, because I am just a girl and I did not have PTSD, and nobody else knows either, because nobody knows nothing when you have.
You know guys that need the help. You're handicapped by. They won't listen to you. You can
I know.
They
well, some
appreciate
of them have. I have to say that some of them have, because I've got a Facebook full of nothing but veterans and patriots and stuff. But I'll tell you what it took. A couple of them, they literally watched me for a year.
Right.
I did.
And I guarantee you they saw the result it was having in other veterans.
Yep, that and just constant.
Which means we need to make those clips so you can use them, others can use them, because somewhere out there somebody's got a pistol in their mouth, and they've got, they know someone who knows what Plexus will do to them, do for them, knows they can find relief, and yet they've not been in combat, and they don't have a voice. And I think those of us who have been in combat, who have been in shootouts, in law enforcement, under the stress of a poor chain of command, the list goes on and on. That's us, and we're finding relief. We need to put it out there so that others can get a hold of it through searching keywords and help our brothers. We individually can't help them all, but if we put some of our story out there.
You put a story out there. Derek puts a story out there. Anybody who you have that are taking the products that are veterans and have experienced relief from toxicity, pain, PTSD, that is an incredible idea to run with. Absolutely. Well, you know what? On the upside, you have achieved Senior Ruby status, right?
Yes, praise the Lord.
You know what? That's awesome. I mean, we don't have very many ambassadors, as we call them, in Plexus. But to be able to have someone, go to Senior Ruby, you're on your way to Emerald.
Yes, yes. I tell you, I think we're still in the beginning stage of this company. It is exploding because anything that you can get your money back that doesn't work and it doesn't cost essentially anything to join, and it's got explosive growth. It's only because that place in the middle works.
Yes. And you worked. I mean, you wouldn't be marketing Plexus if it didn't do what it did for you. The products work,
I
and
don't
that's
even I don't even market it. You can Facebook stalk me for months. I haven't sold it yet. I just tell what it's done for me or somebody else. I was coming out of the gym and I went over to Birmingham, Alabama to take a Marine to the airport and stopped to work out at a gym, and a guy coming out, he saw my car. He said, "You do that Plexus?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, I live off that stuff." Big old jacked up guy. He said he got off all his medications, and he's no longer diabetic. And he said, "I've lost a little of my gut, but I'm still keeping my shoulders." So
that is
it's
awesome.
spreading. We just need to tell our story and not stoop to sales techniques.
Well, and you know what? We're telling it. You're telling it. I tell it. Justin tells it. We all tell our stories, and guess what? We're making a difference because one life every day with Plexus is one more life living. So, however we get to the masses, we're going to get to them. And Dustin, can we hear you from China yet?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
James, can you hear me?
I can hear you clear now. Yes, Dustin.
Thanks. Okay. I've been listening and I've been watching the YouTube comments. One of the questions was, can you tell us what helped with the PTSD? Like what products are you taking? We heard the BioCans ProBio 5, but what are you taking? What was your regimen that you
His regimen. He's taking the triplex and the X Factor.
Yes. And I'll take the booster accelerator as needed. But I tell you what, a healthy body doesn't need energy. I'm 33 years old. I pulled an all-nighter yesterday. I was up 50 hours straight, and I was working. I was doing stuff, and I was driving. I never got sleepy.
Wow.
Not just because you don't want to make a habit of that. When you're truly rested and you start out with your battery on 100%, you can go a long way.
You need to try the Mega X. You think you sleep now? That Mega X is amazing stuff.
Right.
Oh, amazing.
I'll try it upon your recommendation.
That's my challenge to you, James, tonight, is to try the Mega X.
I'll order it tonight.
Yes.
I agree.
Or get out the face cream if you want. You can choose Mega X face cream, huh? Huh? It's all good. All right. Any final words tonight? Anything else you want to share?
Just pray that we don't get in the way of the Lord trying to use us to help somebody. I found that it's our responsibility to rest. Because when I'm rested, I'm more in tune with. Yesterday, I met 3 people. One was a trooper who had just gotten in a shooting and killed a guy, and had PTSD. And I think it was largely because of the way he was handled afterward by his department.
Right.
My personal opinion. But so many people around us are hurting. If we're not rested, then we don't pick up on that.
Yeah.
We have a responsibility to be rested so that we can help those who are hurting. And by the way, we didn't even talk about Plexus.
Right.
He was just a hurting guy,
Yeah. All right, so be rested. I think that's your new motto.
That's right.
Be at rest.
Thank you so much for having me on here.
That's awesome. James, thanks so much for joining us. I apologize sincerely for the technical difficulties starting out. That was just, one of those things.
Hey,
It's Tanya's fault today.
No,
how about that?
China.
What?
It's China's fault.
Oh, China. I thought you said Tanya. Hey, look at me. I was willing to take the blame. Now you know how good I am. Now you know. Hey, thanks so much, James. Have a great night. And everybody, please, if you know someone who has a story that would like to be heard, that is a Plexi star like James, we believe everyone is a Plexi star in Plexus. We all have incredible stories for our lives. And please let us know. Go to our Facebook page and let us know if you'd like to be on. And thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Good night from Arizona. Super Saturday coming up. I'm excited. Are you going?
Absolutely.
Not you, Dustin. Where are you going? Are you going to Texas?
Who, me?
Yeah, where are you attending?
I'm going to Gulfport. Y'all leaders are born at events. So
Yes.
go to every event and take all your downline.
Go to Super Saturday. It's awesome. I'll be here with corporate. You know, they're opening up a new building this month, and it's just so fantastic. I saw it the other day. So if you want to join Plexus, please get back with the person who invited you to the program. It's only $34.95. It will change your life, guaranteed. And everybody, drink paint. Have a great night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Bye.